All right, thanks for joining today's video. Wanted to spend some time discussing the new year and kind of look forward. So welcome to 2023. Wanted to spend some specifically time today discussing, based off my last video, not just how to complete a New Year's resolution, but also how you can achieve more than beat out the other 99% of the people. As really life is a competition, I would say it's more so a competition with yourself, but we comparatively have to see other people. So wanted to basically discuss in detail the concept of how you can actually see progress within anywhere between 3 to 6 months. Then I'm also going to do a little bit more long-term, 6 to 12 months. And this can be applied to anything you want to accomplish. Actually, kind of got inspiration from this video by Dan Coe. I follow his content a good little bit. He has some solid ideas and solid foundation on kind of how to build a one-person business. I'm a huge proponent of that. That's kind of what I've been focusing on. I actually work contract work as an independent contractor for a few different companies right now, but really just focusing on building my brand, kind of hoping to inspire other people to go about that route too, just because I would say it's probably the best way forward for a lot of people. I believe that everybody has something they can add to the world, a unique perspective, and being able to figure out how to speak to that perspective and in essence create a business around it. I'm a huge proponent of. So really wanted to focus on for this video 2023 how you can be effective, and I don't want to say steal a few things from Dan Coe, but I'm going to use a few of his examples here. So first one I will say is the idea of creating a strong vision for yourself where you see yourself at the end of the year. And I literally mean December 31st, 2023. What do you see yourself doing? Where do you see yourself living? What do you see yourself, the income that you have, your social circles, relationships, all of this. Where do you physically see yourself in a year from now? We're on the 2nd of January, so if you're watching this currently when this was produced, but roughly a year. So where do you see yourself in a year? A concrete vision of yourself. You need to take 5, 10, 30 minutes, an hour to write this stuff out and really reflect on what your goal, like what you see for yourself, like where you are in a year. That's step one. Step two, this is called anti-vision. What do you not see yourself doing in a year from now? Are you going to be eating differently? Are you going to be, working out? Or are you not going to be working out? Or are you going to, be sitting on your ass? What are the things that you don't want to do? So first off, we have the vision, and then we have the anti-vision. So why are these important? Well, our main focus right now, and really the main focus of everybody should be doing the boring work, creating consistent habits that you follow through on every single day, or whatever cadence you establish for that habit, so that you can achieve your goals. Now, what does this look like in practice? All right, simple enough. You want to get in shape. That's one of my goals for this year. It's been one of my goals for just working out and getting in shape, kind of losing weight slowly. That's how I'm approaching my fitness journey, is losing weight slowly rather than just crash dieting. There's different things for different people, and there are different journeys. However, for that example of fitness, first very easy habit or goal we can create for ourselves to reach this vision. So we have our vision, and then from that vision, we're going to create tangible, bite-sized goals that we can accomplish. So you basically have your 1-year vision, and then from there, you create goals to get to that vision. So I'm using fitness here for an example. So what I do is I have a couple goals in regards to that. First one is eating in a calorie deficit. Second one is working out every single day involving strength training, and then doing at least 150 basically 2 to 3 hours of consistent cardio every week. I do actually a lot more than that because I have a dog and I have to walk him quite often. But I also do cardio at the gym just on top of that, just because I actually enjoy biking for 30 minutes after I lift. So we have our goals. And how do we achieve these goals? Well, we need to create habits. So for the calorie deficit goal, We need to, in essence, what I did was I changed my diet, and didn't actually really change my diet to like some crazy broccoli and rice thing. I honestly believe that for weight loss specifically, you need to do stuff that's sustainable, because as soon as most people don't understand, like I think it's like the figure's like 80% of people, it's like 70 or 80% of people that lose the weight gain it back within a year or two. And the reason is because they switch their diet, or they, start working out a ton, and they stop doing that after the weight's off, and then, they go right back to their previous weight. This happens very often. I'm a proponent of, all right, you need to do a caloric deficit for weight loss. That's, calories in, calories out. I'm not not like a fitness trainer or anything, or nutritionist, but I understand the basic laws of thermodynamics. So calories in, calories out. With this example, I literally downloaded a app. It's called MyFitnessPal, and I just started tracking everything I that's not a word. Everything I ate. I like eat it a little bit more though. Everything I ate. So what this allowed me to do is actually see on average about how many calories a day I was eating and taking. And, expanded this to a week to kind of get an overall rough estimate of about how many calories a week I consume. Comparative to what, I'm actually burning. And I had a Fitbit for a while and it ended up breaking on me. I'm going to do a segment on that. But that can be beneficial to kind of help you track your calories for a little bit. Basically, though, from understanding about how much I ate, I was able to, weigh myself and kind of figure, all right, this amount of calories. Right now I'm eating around, varies, ironically, I can eat about 3,000 calories, 3,000 to 3,500 calories a day and still maintain a caloric deficit. Again, that's according to Fitbit, and then also not using a Fitbit and actually weighing myself over the course of like a couple of weeks and just seeing, a decrease in weight. There was no increase. So I was understanding, okay, we're at least, at maintenance or below. So the goal from this, though, is to understand that you have your vision. From that, you create your goals. And from those goals, you create habits. Habits are what is going to really propel you forward ahead of the other 99%. Most people live their lives pretty willy-nilly. They get home from work, turn on the TV, eat dinner, talk with their family, fuck around for a bit, and then go to sleep. What we're going to be doing is creating some sort of structure within our lives so that we can focus on our vision and reach those visions through our habit and goals. So over time, it's going to take some time. Usually the first, I would say, month to 6 months is going to be the hardest, just because you're not going to necessarily you're not going to see tangible results right away. It depends, like for fitness, for me, I have more body fat than probably most people that watch this content. I'm 50 plus pounds overweight, so it's definitely like I'm not going to necessarily see the progress like somebody that's only 10 or 20 pounds overweight. They might just see it very quickly. But the main thing is to keep consistent. Now, through the first 6 months, this is what I like to call the habit building time period. People say, it takes 30 days to build a habit. I don't 100% agree that. What they don't talk about is, it might take 30 days to build a habit, but if you stop doing that habit for like 2 or 3 days in a row, you will just stop for a lot of people. So be consistent. Again, the main thing is when you're creating a new habit, consistency is key. The cadence, that schedule of how often you're doing it really does matter. So if you go to only work out 3 times a week versus the person that goes and works out every single morning, the person that goes out and works out every single morning is more likely, they're going to create the habit faster, but they're also more likely to stick with it because they're doing it more often. And that's the key thing. So whenever you're creating a habit, I recommend starting off small. There's a great book. I'm going to show this here. I'm actually going to do a review on this. Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is a fantastic book. I'm going to do a full-on book review on this. But that is a fantastic book if you're interested on kind of some cheat codes on how to create habits in a tangible manner that doesn't seem like you're, being tackled all at once. One example that I'll give from it is the idea of creating bite-sized little pieces that you can, start doing. I'm going to use another example. So let's say, for example, you want to start a blog or a YouTube channel or something like that. I'm going to use a blog for this instance, and then I could also mention the YouTube channel. The main thing is, so for a blog, for example, Most people hop on and like, I want to, I want to post an article every single day. Funny part is a lot of people don't understand the research involved, actually the writing time. I try to do this from personal experience. I have a blog that I write to maybe a couple of times a week. I used to try to do it every single day. It became unsustainable because it would take anywhere between, depending on, how long the blog was and the actual topic I was discussing, could take anywhere between like 2 to 6 hours to write a whole article. 6 hours being like the ones that involved a ton of research and actually typically was a long article. It could, anywhere between 2 to 6 hours. And that's just to get a rough draft out, and then usually another hour roughly of editing. So basic hour or two of editing. So basically I would spend anywhere between roughly 4 to 8 hours per article I was posting. Again, this was doing all the research then, not doing any of this in advance or planning, which would probably cut down on that time. But the main thing is to create habits that you know that you can sustain. The beautiful part about that is you can actually increase these over time. This is one of the concepts in James Clear book. So let's say you want to become a writer and you want to write a blog post every day. Maybe instead of writing a blog post every day, you start off with just writing, 100 words, and that's it, 100 words a day. And over time, you could, let's say you focus on a blog post, like you do 100 words for the blog post today, tomorrow. In a week, you have 700 words. Within 2 weeks, you have 1,400. And then slowly over time, you increase this increment of how much you write. So for example, let's say you start with 100 words the first week. The second week, you might do 150 words. Third week, you might do 200 words. But the idea is to increase incrementally so you're not like overloading your mind, your psyche, your body with this new kind of structure. Same thing with working out, you can apply this to. I am not a proponent of recommending like, hey, go into the gym and, if you've never started working out, we're going to the gym and just do a 2-3 hour workout. That's the best thing you can do to get right into it. No, that's how you create people that hate going into the gym. So what I did for my personal experience, what I've seen actually work with a lot of people, go in, like, so for a gym, for example, go in, literally you can walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes and that's it. And like go home after that. Go in the next day and walk another 30 minutes on the treadmill. And then, by the end of the week, start walking an hour. And then after that first week, maybe you can start incorporating a little bit of weightlifting. This is how you introduce yourself to a new habit without hating it. The other benefit of this is your body kind of gets slowly used to it over time. What a lot of people do is, when I see actually at the gyms, you see a lot of people go in, they clearly haven't lifted before. Maybe they have in the past, but not recently. They go right in and start doing like a really heavy, workout. They're hitting, back and biceps and, upper body or whatever program or routine they're doing for that day. And they end up not coming back. You don't see them anymore at the gym. Maybe they changed to a different gym, but typically I equate them not coming back to the gym with the fact that either A, it was too difficult, B, it was unsustainable, or C, it just literally got boring because they were like, oh, well, I did all this work one day and then I don't see any results the next day. With anything, it's going to take time to see results. Some things might be faster than others. However, understanding that things take time to develop, that's again why you have that 1 to 6 months is really developing. 6 to 12 months is where I would say you really start to see like the fruits of your labor. It might take longer than that for some people. Like building a business, it's not necessarily difficult. It's not difficult, but it's not easy. But it's one of those things where it's like consistently putting in time and effort and energy to that business is required for it to grow. You're nurturing it almost like you're nurturing any living thing, a plant, a baby, a dog, whatever. But you have to nurture things for them to grow. And some things grow on their own. Some things you need minimal energy to nurture. But it's one of those things where you need to put in the time and energy to get there. And that's marching towards a vision. So now the anti-vision, the other side of this, and I'm going to give credit to Danco, are things that you don't want to see yourself doing at the end of the year. So maybe you want to quit playing video games. Maybe you want to, stop watching TV every time when you get home after work and you want to actually focus on something productive. Maybe you want to stop drinking so much and, you want to maybe rely on a more sober state of mind. So this anti-vision is really the concept of the things that you don't want, and it's just as powerful as the things that you do want. Because when you're telling yourself and you are basically inhibiting certain things in your body and from your mind, you start to get used to that. So it's like, well, I don't want this thing in my life anymore. Well, then just take it out of it. Take it out of your life, and let it lie where it lies. You don't need necessarily certain things in your next chapter. It can be a little bit harder because, again, you're cutting out and letting go of things in your life that you might view as toxic or unnecessary. Not everything that you need to cut out of your life is necessarily toxic. Sometimes it's just an unnecessary burden, or it's just an unnecessary action or thing that you do. One example for me is I love watching TV. I love video games. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to those things. But I actually basically I tell myself I'm not going to quit video games entirely, because there are certain little masterpieces like God of War Ragnarok and things like that that I actually enjoy playing. I'm looking forward to certain games in the future, but I'm also cut down my play time significantly. I actually don't play video games like almost at all during the week. I usually focus on just working when I get home. Not when I get home, I work from home. I usually just focus on work after I'm done with my independent contract work that I'm working on for the day. I focus on my businesses and focus on kind of my own productivity rather than giving time over to video games or television. Now again, there is time for that. I'm not saying just quit everything. For most people, that's impossible. Quitting cold turkey can be very difficult, but you can wind down on it slowly. So what I did, for example, from video games, I basically made a pact with myself that I'm not going to play video games during weekdays unless it's like a very specific occasion where it's like maybe I'm on vacation and I'm just taking some time off to myself. But pretty much for like 99% of the time, I don't play video games during the weekday. And if I do, it's like no more than 30 minutes, and it's usually just to decompress. And it's like 9 times out of 10, it's like an online Overwatch game, or like, I don't own COD, but usually it's like Overwatch, or I might play like a level of Doom or something just to decompress and just kind of get my mind off of things. TV was the same way. I actually basically cut it down to where I only watch TV specifically on like Saturdays and Sundays, and it's between certain windows, or if I complete all of my work for the day that I've kind of assigned to myself on the checklist that I mentioned previously, which I do highly recommend. I highly recommend working from a checklist. Is awesome. It doesn't have to be an actual like to-do list. You need like a little notebook, or a piece of paper is fine. It really does help because it keeps you visually accountable to what you're trying to accomplish for the day. But if I work through my checklist and it's like I got all the stuff that I want to do today done, then yeah, I'll allow myself a little bit of free time and a little bit of relaxation time. But the funny part is 9 times out of 10, I never get everything done on my to-do list just because I design it that way. So I have I'm always working on something or working towards something, and I might don't finish it. I can move it to tomorrow. But basically, understanding you can cut out these things cold turkey, things that you don't want to do. You can cut them down significantly to where it's like you want to cut out TV, like substantially, or like one of the things I love is how you're on the iPhone is that it actually will show you your screen time every week. I actually make it a habit to also when I see that, I always try to make it a habit to actually have less screen time than the previous week on my phone, or at minimum maintaining the same screen time. I really don't like to see an increase in screen time. That means I've been on my phone more than I really need to be. But basically, you can find ways to start cutting the things out of your life that you don't need. And really don't inhibit any productivity or any substance towards your goals. Now, again, a lot of this stuff, you got to do it slowly. It's not going to just happen overnight. Some people can do things cold turkey. It's really rare that people can do things cold turkey. Ironically, the only thing I've ever in my entire life been able to do cold turkey is literally quit smoking cigarettes, and that was because it's just like it got to a point where I hated them so much that I was just like tired of it, and like the nicotine high was not worth what a cigarette smoke was actually like the act of smoking a cigarette wasn't worth the nicotine high. That's the only thing in my life where I'm going to quit cold turkey. And it was more of a habit of I just don't want to do this anymore, so I just quit it entirely. You know, it was like a week of like, but then it just went away after that. So again, I don't necessarily recommend that for everyone. If you can, I think it is the best way to go about it because you're just stopping, you know, what you want to stop doing. However, it's not for everybody. So just find something that works for you. Usually tapering off things slowly works for most people. That's what they do with like the, you know, Nicorette gum and those nicotine patches and whatnot when they're trying to get people to quit smoking. But that's the thing. I would say really to set up your year to honestly create success that 99% of people won't see. Create a vision for yourself, and then from that vision create a goal, and from those goals create systems and habits that will achieve that vision. And then on the opposite, you have your anti-vision. Understand what you don't want and work your way so that you don't have to work your way against those things. So if you're trying to quit smoking, watching TV, those aren't, you know, gambling, drinking. I'm just listing some vices, and, you know, everything in moderation. Things in moderation are fine, but, you know, things that you would typically, you personally, things that you want to stop doing, make, you know, just like creating a goal on how to achieve your vision, create a goal on how you're not going to do things. So that's really what I want to wrap up this video with. Again, I want to shout out to Dan Coe here. Thank you for the inspiration for this video. Also, if you like the content, I'd love if you hit that like button and hit subscribe. It does help our channel grow. I'm really excited to get more content out there, so I'm going to be posting, try to post one of these daily videos every day. You will you will be seeing some newer content coming out in the next week or two. That'll actually be a little bit, it'll be different. It's not going to be me just sitting in front of a camera and talking. It'll actually be really story driven. So I'm excited to start sharing that with everyone. But again, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, that'd be awesome. It really does help our channel grow. And I'm really excited to get these messages out there and share it with the world. So thanks for joining today. Welcome to 2023 and have a happy new year.